Right, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is Katania Alvin speaking from Canada still, which is lovely. I couldn't be in a better place in this really shocking situation. But I've opened my YouTube channel, and those of you who have been into it will see that against the beautiful background of an oak, big English oak, and the green, I've written a Thomas Paine quote: "The mind once enlightened cannot again become dark." And actually this is really what is happening to humanity. It's rather like the making of a diamond out of coal through the pressure, and we're becoming diamonds. We're becoming aware of the criminality, the evilness that has been going on, actually in plain sight very often. But because I'm going to use a David Icke comment, it's tiptoed in, and then suddenly it's come in with a great rush. My mother taught me, always undo your string, always undo the knots in your string. And maybe that's why I love research. I probably love research because I'm of the birth date and that I've got, because I feel that the astrology makes a huge difference as to our personality and our traits and our shadow side as well. So this is a very important thing to realize. The last two videos I've done, and I haven't finished those yet, but have been part 1 and part 2 of David Martin's inquiry re the crime, really Fauci and the World Health Organization and the CDC and various other things. Now this time I want to bring to your attention Daddy Dragon, who's the solution is in the Constitution is his motto, and also a very, very interesting discussion with Robin Tilbrook, who's a lawyer, and he has actually written a letter, and in part of this they're discussing the letter to Boris Johnson, or the Prime Minister, and it happens to be Boris Johnson, and also to the Secretary of State of the Health and Welfare. So they're discussing that. So to start with, I'm going to bring your attention to a little preamble. But before I do that, let me thank you for all your likes and shares and your comments. And I do read the comments, and I did answer one particular one because I was talking about an alternative for vaccines. And if you go into I think it was maybe on part 2, but anyway, if you look in the comment, you will see somebody has asked me, what about the nosoids? And I did look online, and I found that you can take nosoids to actually remove the damaging effects of vaccines. So I've put that information in there, and so do go in and have a look, because that's very important. And also, not to take your mind away from what we're talking about. In other words, something that is so outrageously illegal and against the Constitution, and I talked about the American Constitution, but against our rights. They're going back to the Magna Carta, going back to what we in England actually base common law on. Common law, apparently, according when I looked up some years ago, was when it has been judged most often, and that then became common law. So it was ruled, that was ruled. Well, we've changed courts. When we went into the EU, we changed courts, but I think that's helped Robin Tilbrook, from what I understand. Anyway, on and into what I want to share with you, and that's Daddy Dragon and Robin Tilbrook discussing the letter that Robin has written, but a little pre-talk with them before. Right, here is Graham Moore. YouTube channel is called Daddy Dragon. You will see the English dragon just coming by the side of his head. The Constitution is the solution. So let's put this on and listen to him.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I have got with me today the chairman of the English Democrats and a lawyer, a professional, that's going to come and have a chat with us about a few things that's going on, not just in the UK, but obviously globally. We're just going to have literally a chat. It's not an interview as such, but there's some very interesting things that I think a lot of people should be aware of. So again, here is Robin Tilbrook.
Hello, Graham. Nice to be here.
Thank you, and pleasure that you're on the show. And we've been trying to arrange this, but we've got slightly different schedules. So we've done a recall of this, and then I'll be in the chat answering questions if they want to ask any questions. But I think we just start on this. There's a few other things I want to get into, but just to start on the conversation of Corona. I mean, how are you finding this lockdown, whatever you want to describe it as, an abuse of our rights? How have you found it?
Abuse of our rights. I really appreciate what Daddy Dragon or Graham Moore has done, what he knows, this tremendous fire and intentionality and love, actually, of his country and his fellow countrymen, and what is right and what is honourable.
And how is it affecting you?
I'm probably affected less than many businesses, and certainly less than most solicitors, because I have an office at my home, so I'm able to get into my office, do my work, and so on. Most of my work's court-based litigation, and that's a problem at the moment, because the courts are generally being not only far more inefficient than they usually are with their administration, which is probably crazily inefficient, but also they're being very reluctant to have any actual physical hearings, and the tendency has been to try and have either telephone or hearings like this one or on Zoom, it works all right, but the thing is, when you're in a hearing, you're trying to persuade somebody, and that's really a lot more difficult on the phone, I think, because you can't really see the body language of.
No, I agree.
Very interesting point. You know, as he points out, the body language, because we're reading people all the time in a different way, and so the situation has been drastically curtailed through this lack of human contact or actually being in the same room as somebody.
You don't know whether they're interested in what you're saying, or whether a particular point's going home, or whether they've understood what you're saying. You can't really tell that. Whereas, of course, if you're interacting with somebody that you can see, you can actually see whether or not they've really understood your point.
Right, now I've got up Robin Tilbrook and Daddy Dragon. They're discussing the letter that Robin has written.
I am now recording. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And we have Mr. Robin Tilbrook, solicitor, lawyer, whatever you want to describe himself as. But again, I am introducing you to Robin Tilbrook, who is now currently in the process of taking the government to court because of the lockdown and what's going on with our rights and our rights being taken away from us. So there you go, Robin. Over to you.
Nice to be on the show again.
Thanks for coming. And again, it's always good to have a chat, especially about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and various other things. So I've noticed there's been we're pushing more. There is more and more dissent out there. People are wondering what's going on. I personally, and I'm just going to give you an example of this because I think it's important. We're all in lockdown. You know, we can't do our everyday things. We're told we can't exercise more than once. We're told we can't drive somewhere to exercise. We're being told what we can and can't buy in a shop, what's essential and what isn't essential. But crucially, you then have a group of people every Thursday evening, mainly police officers and others, standing on Westminster Bridge, completely ignoring the lockdown and applauding and doing all these strange things, when we are not allowed to do any of that. It's almost like there's one law for us and one law for them.
I think this situation of applauding is so shocking, is so out of order. It's like it takes people to not really staying focused on what has been done to them. You know, I know they're applauding the people who have kept things going and what have you, but it is. I think it's a red herring. I certainly wouldn't do it.
Then I don't know whether they won't get very comfortable with the idea that they can pass any law that they fancy without having to go through any hassle and argument. I'll give you a for instance of something that I think should create concern. I mentioned about the care packages, which I think is a pretty radical change to be able to be occurring by ministerial order, in effect, rather than because of legislation, particularly when it's actually expressly contrary to what the legislation said, without any democratic input.
Right, I'm coming in again with Robin Tilbrook.
The Coronavirus Act allows local authorities to completely ignore the previously legally binding provisions of providing care for people who are needed. And many local authorities are already stopping providing that money. Now, this has been done without any discussion, without any democratic decision to.
Now, I must go back even further. That's at point 1528. Okay.
After all, not all countries have gone for a lockdown, and Sweden being a good example, where they've thought carefully about what exactly they should do, and indeed one of their principal advisors had been previously one of the leading UN advisors on dealing with epidemics, and they haven't gone for the kind of lockdown arrangements that we've gone for, where basically not only have all our civil liberties been chucked out the window, but the economy of the country has also been crashed.
Two interesting things. Our civil liberties have been chucked out of the window and the economy is being crashed. Yeah.
So, the longer this goes on, the more serious this is for the economy, but also we are getting into a situation where the state is basically able to make new criminal offences and imprison people without having gone through any of the normal legislative process, without even the slightest nod towards democracy, there comes a point, I think, where you have to make a stand, and I think we've got to the point where something's got to be done about this, because otherwise we're going to wind up with a state at the end of it which is completely out of control.
Really, you could talk, we're talking about a fascist state. That's really what has happened.
Any democratic supervision, even, or any input from people, and our economy will have been crashed. In terms of democratic input, just like to give you an example. We've had some very far-reaching legislation, the Coronavirus Act, which is this huge sort of enabling act, Emergency Powers Act, 370 pages, I think it's got, of rules that basically say the government can do what it likes in various areas.